Welcome to SATV News. This is Nuri Alamin with the headlines. Finance Minister has unveiled a Dhaka 6,78,000 crore national budget for the 2022-23 fiscal year today. RAB detained the Managing Director of RS Army Group Rama from Gulshan area early today. Asian Development Bank approves $250 million policy-based loan for the Bangladesh Social Resilience Program. Finance Minister A.H.M. Mustafa Kamal has unveiled a Dhaka 6,78,000 crore national budget for the 2022-2023 fiscal year. He started reading out the budget at Parliament on Thursday. The size of the proposed budget is about 15% of the country's gross domestic product (GDP). Earlier this day, the Cabinet at a special meeting approves the proposed national budget for the 2022-23 this fiscal year. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina presided over the meeting held in the Cabinet room of Parliament with Kamal and other ministers as well as the state ministers in attendance. However, Kamal said that for the current fiscal year, the budget deficit is 6.2% of the GDP. Besides this, the government subsidies in the proposed budget for the 2022-23 fiscal year are likely to increase by 15,920 crore taka to 82,745 crore taka, which is 1.9% of the country's GDP. The deficit will be financed using both local and external funds. However, Finance Minister said in preparing the budget for the next fiscal year, top priority was given to containing inflation stemming from the fallout of the COVID-19 pandemic and the Russia-Ukraine war. This is Bangladesh's 51st budget and the 23rd one by the Awami League government in its 5 terms. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina said construction of the Podda Bridge by own finance has created a perception that Bangladesh can do, and it has brightened the country's image globally. Constructions of the Podda Bridge by own finance has created the confidence among the nation, she also added. She made the remark while joining the discussions on a thanks and giving motion placed in a Jatiya Sanshad to greet the Prime Minister for constructing the much hyped the mega Podda Bridge project under her visionary and bold leadership. The leader of the House, Sheikh Hasina, said that honesty and people of the country are her strength and materialized the dream of construction the Podda Bridge into reality due to that strength. She mentioned that the people of the country have gained knowledge over the technology. The RAB has detained one of the topmost loan defaulters in the country, Rama, the managing director of the Ratanpuri Steel Rolling Mills Limited (RSRM) from the capital's Gulshan area on Wednesday night. Commander Khondokar Al-Moin, director of the RAB's legal and media wing, confirmed the matter to the media. Rama stands accused of taking of loans of the more than Dhaka 2,500 crore from the various banks. So far, 10 cases have been filed against him for failing to pay the loans. On February this year, he was banned from leaving the country. A drive was carried out in light of the arrest warrant issues against him for embezzling money, said Moin. She also added that several checkbooks and a credit card were recovered during the raid. RAB raided a house in Gulshan based on the tip-off that he was hiding there. The Asian Development Bank (ADB) on Thursday approved a $250 million policy-based loan, a support from the social protection reforms in Bangladesh designed to protect the vulnerable population against socio-economic challenges. The loan will finance the sub-program 2 of the Strengthening on the Social Resilience Program unveiled on the first sub-program, which implemented institutional and policy reforms that strengthen the inclusiveness and responsiveness of the social protection in Bangladesh, reads on ATV News release. The COVID-19 pandemic highlighted the need of the strengthened social protection systems to help the people cope and manage disasters and crisis, said the ADB principal social sector specialist for the South Asia, Hiroko Uchimura Shiroishi. Shumon Shikdar Musa, a prime suspect in the murder of Motijil Awami League leader Zahidul Islam Tipu and college student Samia Afrin Preeti, has been brought back to Bangladesh from Oman. Musa was handed over to the Detective Branch DV of Police on Thursday morning. Musa, who was arrested by the Oman police several days ago, coordinated the murder from abroad. Tipu was killed in the ruling Awami League's factional rivalry over the controlling extortions and tenders at Motijil, said the police sources. On the night of March 24, Motijil Awami League leader Jahidul Islam Tipu, who was on the microbus, and Samia Afrin Priti, a 22-year-old college student who was returning home on the rickshaw, were killed at indiscriminate firing in front of the Islamic Bank Hospital. The use of various chemicals, including hydrogen peroxide, is increasing day by day in ready-made garment industry, textile, cosmetics, and even the pharmaceuticals industry. These chemicals are handling by the authorities of the 21 private containers depots, including the Chittagong port. But no one has any idea about this horrible chemical. This is the only reason why the Sitakundo tragedy happened. Experts say the country could face even greater catastrophe in the future if it knows the one now. 2 more bodies have been recovered from the Sitakundo container depot. The death toll from the blast rose to 47. ASI Alauddin Talukdar of the Chittagong Medical College Hospital Police Outpost said the 2 bodies were recovered and brought to Chamek Hospital around 8:30 a.m. According to the fire service authorities, after extinguishing the fire at the depot, the 2 bodies were found buried under the rubble as soon as the container was removed. Work is underway to find out if there are more bodies at the scene. Viewers, we are taking a short break. Stay with us. Welcome back, and you are watching SATV News. Now, news from abroad. Mariupol, a Ukrainian city now occupied by the Russian forces after months of the relentless bombings, is facing yet another possible crisis, cholera. An advisor to the city's mayor said Tuesday local time that its drinking water has been contaminated by the decomposing garbage and bodies, increasing the risk of the cholera outbreak. According to the WHO, cholera is an acute disease that kills within hours if left untreated. The same authorities say that a Russian city just across the border is preparing infectious disease units in the case of the cholera outbreak. Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says death of Russian troops has now topped 31,000. During an address posted on his social media, President Zelensky said that no significant changes have been made in the last 24 hours as fierce battle in the Donbas region continue. Back to Iran, where at least 22 people have been killed and more than 50 were injured in a train crash in just eastern part of the country on Wednesday. According to the official, roughly 350 people were on board and the overnight train from the city of Tabaz and Yazd, with reports saying that the train is stuck an excavator which caused nearly half of this car to derail. Images following the crash suggest carriages were snagged by the excavator. However, authorities have not yet explained which caused the crash. The latest tragedy to hit the country follows the collapse of a 10-story commercial building which killed 41 people in last month. A car plowed into a crowd of the people in the German capital Berlin on Wednesday, killing a teacher and injuring several others, including the 14 students as well. Berlin's fire department said that 6 people sustained life-threatening injuries and 3 others were seriously hurt. The driver, a 29-year-old German-American national, reportedly drove into the pedestrian on a sidewalk near the Kaiser Wenlin Memorial Church at around 10:30 a.m. before crashing into a shop window 1 block away. He has been detained and is receiving treatment in the hospital. Investigators are trying to determine whether the attack was deliberate.
Investigators are trying to
India's Road Transport Ministry set a Guinness World Record on Wednesday for constructing a 75-kilometer long highway in just 5 days. This beats the previous 2019 record held by the Qatar, a 25-kilometer long stretch of road that took 10 days to complete. Starting on the June 3rd in the western state of the Maharashtra, the construction of a single-lane highway was completed on June 7th in a record of 105 hours and 33 minutes. Approximately 1,300 workers were tasked with the building of the road.
105 hours and 33 minutes.
Now sports news. Belgium crushed Poland to put Dutch misery behind them. They have defeated Poland 6-1. Belgium fell behind in the beginning match. Poland took the lead in the 28 minutes through a goal by Robert Lewandowski. Roberto Martinez's side, the equalized with whistle goal before the break. Coming back from the break, Belgium started to attack again to the opponent. They took to the lead the 59 minute through a goal by the Kevin De Bruyne. Leandro Trossard increased the lead in the 73rd minute. Trossard scored another goal 7 minutes later. The team went ahead 4-1. 3 minutes later, Belgium went ahead with one more goal. After that, the goal of the Lois Openda scored in extra time ensured a big victory for the Belgians. Before ending, we'll go through the SATV News headlines again. Finance Minister has unveiled a Dhaka 6,78,000 crore national budget for the 2022-23 fiscal year. RAB detained the managing director of RSRM Group, Maksud Rahman, from Gulshan area early today. Asian Development Bank approved a $250 million policy-based loan for Bangladesh Social Resilience Program. You are up to date with our top stories so far here on SATV. And to know the latest news, visit www.satv.tv. Stay with SATV.